Tell me you saw what happened out there, Oos. Huh?
No, I didn't. I missed it. I was actually watching Sami. I can learn a lot from you, Oos.
Welcome back to another episode of Wrestle Capsule, where you're going to be getting your weekly dose of pro wrestling talk. And I'm your host, B. So welcome back to the show. I watched Smackdown on Friday, and there are some things that we need to talk about on this show today. So let's just get into it. Smackdown starts off with Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross fighting. Well, I would say it's less of a fight and more of an attack, because we see there's like this huge car accident with this Porsche and this big truck, and you see Drew just freaking up Karrion Kross, and Karrion's got blood on him. Scarlett has blood like coming from her nose. Like, Drew is just freaking Karrion up, hitting his head against the side of the truck, and then like of course like the WWE officials are there trying to like break him off of him, and Drew was trying to slam his head, like put his head near the like inside the door and like slam the door on his head, and of course they stopped him. But like, that's a crazy way to start SmackDown. It's definitely giving me like Attitude Era vibes, and I was just like, what the freak is going on? Like this, like we were seeing a little bit of this when the whole feud with Seth freaking Rollins and Matt Riddle, but this is just on a whole nother level, because people getting slamming heads into the car doors and trucks and just a whole bunch of craziness. And I love this because from the whole strap match at Extreme Rules, come on, you and I both know that wasn't far from over. Like we were wanting more from that feud, and to know that it is continuing is perfect, because there's so much they can do with that storyline, with the feud between Karrion and Drew. Like, there's so much more, and I know that someone's gonna get their comeuppance. Like, Drew is going to get his back, because Karrion and Scarlett are not just gonna let that slide. Like, they're just not. So one of the matches I want to talk to you guys about was the match between Sami Zayn and Kofi Kingston, which makes sense because the Bloodline and the New Day, they've been kind of going through it, scrapping for a little bit, especially every time the Bloodline is having issues. More specifically, when Jey Uso and Sami Zayn are having issues, the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, always seem to find themselves in the midst of it, just egging it on, just being a whole bunch of instigators. So it makes sense for Sami and Kofi Kingston to have their match. And even before that, when they were backstage, I remember Roman Reigns called Sami, and they're on the phone, they all kiki and giggling, and then he wanted to speak to Jey, and I was first and foremost, I was expecting Sami to get in trouble when he lost against Matt Riddle, because he didn't want any help from Jey, and then he just got his A whipped. But Jey got the boot, and from what we were seeing, like, basically Roman Reigns was telling him, like, do what you gotta do to make sure Sami wins this match against Kofi. Like, do your job. They go out there, and Jey kicked the shiznit out of Xavier Woods. That kick, he got all of that kick. But then Jey intervened again, and the way that he did it, it was so smooth and so sneaky. So Sami didn't see him intervene on ringside, and Sami was able to pin Kofi Kingston for the 1-2-3 and win the match. And then what was crazy was when they went backstage, Sami thought that he did all that himself, and Jay's like, what, are you freaking serious? Like, I helped you. Like, what are you talking about, Oos? And Jay's gonna be like, come on, Solo, because Sikoa is back there. And he's just standing there, and he's got his arms folded, and Jey tries to ask him, like, you saw that out there, right? Like, I helped Sami win.
Tell me you saw what happened out there, Oos. Huh?
No, I didn't. I missed it. I was actually watching Sami. I can learn a lot from you.
Jey's pissed off. He's like, I helped. I did what the tribal chief said. I played my part in the bloodline, and I don't even get no credit for it. So he was pissed off. Everyone is seeing Jey Uso as a hothead, and they're not taking him seriously. So I don't know if it's gonna get to a point where Jey is just gonna be like, bump this, I'm done, I quit, or if he is going to try to set up Sami to make him look one way to the tribal chief and to the bloodline, to make Jey look better in his eyes. Like, I don't know, but the plot thickens. It's still like this thing with Sami and Jey is still going. The fact that Sami thought he did that all by himself blows my freaking mind. But denial is a crazy thing. Yo, the fact that Rey Mysterio went to Triple H backstage and was telling him that he wants to quit, like he doesn't want to fight his son Dominic, like he doesn't want to be a part of any of this. He loves his family. Like basically, I ain't doing it. Like, I will quit WWE and walk away from wrestling before I fight my son. So Triple H is like, nope. Let's have a conversation. Let's go and step into my office and we will find a solution. And I'm just like, what solution we gonna find? But we gonna get into that. So I can't believe I'm saying this right now, but this whole tease with Braun Strowman and Omos, I'm kind of here for it. Like, so Braun's out there and he's having his handicap squash match with these two wrestlers. They're small compared to Braun, and he's just freaking him up. And then we see that Omos and MVP are in the crowd and they're coming down. You know, Omos is all dressed up in his suit and everything like that. And I'm like, wait, what is he doing here? Like, he's on Raw. What is going on? So MVP gets on the mic and basically like, you ain't nothing. Like, you're like, basically Omos is better than you, have nothing. Like just trying to like get under Braun Strowman's skin. And of course Braun Strowman wins the match, but this whole thing with Braun and Omos, like, I want this to happen. Two big powerhouse wrestlers going at it in the ring. Yes, especially since Omos, I've been seeing improvement even in his squash matches. I've been seeing improvement in the way that he like executes his moves and how he sells it on his face, because before he'd be cheesing and he'd be like, he could not keep that straight aggression face like to save his freaking life, and it would just take me out of the match, and I would just call BS, and I would just not want to see him wrestle because I didn't feel like he was taking it seriously. Like, just because you're big doesn't mean you're all that in a bag of potato chips. So he's been getting better, and I know that he's been having matches on main event, so bringing it back to see these two have some beef. And of course Braun is not going to take MVP talking smack about him, and then Braun's talking about, you might be bigger than me but you ain't better than me and all this stuff, and I'm just like, yes, Raw big guy versus SmackDown big guy, one giant versus another giant. Like, I'm here for it, to see LA Knight back as LA Knight and no more of this stupid Max Dupree. Like, I'm very, very, very happy about it. He had his match with Mansoor and he freaked him up. That BFT was ridiculous. And for him, I was not expecting him to get on the mic, and he's in full heel form. And I was assuming like he was saying like, I didn't do it for you guys, I didn't do it for like the WWE universe. And I'm thinking that he's talking about going back to being LA Knight. Like, he didn't do it for the fans, he didn't do it for the WWE universe, he did it for himself. And basically he was putting the whole WWE roster on notice, so he's coming to collect. Like, there's no more games being played. Yo, this triple tag team match for the women was good. And honestly, you guys might disagree with me, but the only reason why I think it was good is because Roxanne Perez was there. Like, I don't know what Roxy has over these women, but like, to see her on the main roster, because I know on NXT, because I do watch NXT, I might not review it on my channel, but I do watch NXT as much as I possibly can, because there's some cool stuff that's going on that show. So I'm aware of the whole feud between Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, up. So it was Damage Control versus Shotzi Blackheart, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez. How is Roxanne doing better than Dakota Kai? And it's her first time on the main roster. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I could see as Roxy was wrestling the other women, especially Dakota Kai and Io Sky, like, even Bayley, like, she was bringing something out of them, and it was so dope to see. Like, I can't wait until this girl gets called up to the main roster, even though I know she has some unfinished business on NXT. Like, I'm looking forward to that. She had everybody turned up. When Roxy hit Bayley with the Hurricanrana on the ropes, and then Bayley was going to do a rose plate, but then she stopped her, I was just like, girl, come at it. I was so here for it. But you know what? I feel like Bayley, the Damage Control, won by the skin of their teeth. Like, Bayley barely won that match. But I'm telling you, it showed up the other side. Like, it made Raquel, Roxanne, Shotzi look better. Shoot, it even made Bayley, Io, and Dakota look better. Like, adding Roxanne to that match it made it more enjoyable. I feel like that hunger, that's what it was. Roxy's hunger as such a young wrestling talent, like, it just spread all over the other female wrestlers in that match, and it just made it so good. Y'all, I don't know what got into Liv Morgan, but I'm here for it. Like, backstage, Sonya Deville was talking to Kayla and having her interview, and hey, Sonya brought it on herself. She was talking smack about Liv and how she had the opportunity to prove that she deserved the SmackDown Women's Championship, and she lost. She was just talking all this smack, and the next thing you know, Liv Morgan attacks her, freaks her up, throwing her against backstage equipment. Then she got up on, like, she climbed up on, like, this ladder or stairs or something like that, and then she freaking did a senton off of it and broke the table with Sonya Deville on the table. And the girl got crazy eyes now. Like, Liv Morgan officially has crazy eyes. Like, she looked like she's off her rocker. She looks like she needs to be in a straitjacket. She looks like she needs all the help that she can get. But you know what? I'm here for it. And you're probably going to hear a lot of I'm here for it in this episode. So just get ready. I'm here for it, because I knew this was going to happen. After her losing the SmackDown Women's Championship to Ronda Rousey at Extreme Rules, she looked like something in her brain just switched off. Like, she looked like she was gonzo. She was smiling. It was like that crazy smile. Like, she got the crazy eye. She got the crazy smile. Like, I cannot wait. Like, this better be Liv Morgan turning heel, because this is the perfect opportunity. This makes sense. Shoot, this would make anyone turn heel. Like I said before in my Extreme Rules review, like, the SmackDown Women's Championship, her first championship in WWE, something that she cherished, something that she worked so hard to get, and for it to be taken away from her in the way that it did, like, it would make anyone go gone. So this girl better dye her hair black and go heel and just start wrecking up shop, start freaking up the women in the back. Like, just go all out. So originally the match was supposed to be Sheamus versus Ricochet versus Karrion Kross versus Solo Sikoa. After Karrion Kross getting freaked up and beat up outside by Drew McIntyre, he was removed from the match, and then Rey Mysterio was put in Karrion Kross's place. So Rey Mysterio is now on SmackDown. Triple H made so the whole, Dominic Mysterio and Judgment Day, they be on Raw. Rey was just like, deuces, I'm out. Like, I can't do this no more. SmackDown's now my home. And for him to win that match and by the way, I didn't even say what the match is for. The match is for the number one contender to be able to fight Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, and Rey Mysterio won. That threw me for a freaking loop. I thought Sheamus was going to win. And replacing Karrion with Rey was absolutely genius. Just think about these four guys. You have Sheamus, you have Ricochet, you have Solo Sikoa, and then you have now Rey Mysterio. You have two high flyers, two aerial wrestlers, and then you have two brawlers. I feel like that is a perfect recipe for an entertaining match, and it did not fall short at all. But yeah, to have Rey be able to have that match with Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship I'm so surprised, and it makes me wonder with this match with Gunther when it happens, are we gonna see Dominic come out of nowhere from the crowd, or Judgment Day from the crowd? Like, it can't be over. I can't, it doesn't make sense in my mind for that feud, that humongous feud on Raw, to be over. Honestly, I feel like it's just gonna be dragged over from Raw to SmackDown just to torment Rey. Like, you can't escape. You can't just ignore it. You can't just escape not having that match with Dominic. Like, it's going to happen. Your son, Dominic, needs that whooping. Like, he needs it. You can't just walk away from the whooping. Like, Rey, it's gotta be you. So I wonder if they're gonna try to interfere. We're going to see some guest surprise stars during this match for the Intercontinental Championship, because I can't just see this feud being over. I can't. Oh my gosh, guys, let me just talk about the whole Bray Wyatt, his return to SmackDown, him coming out as himself, as Bray Wyatt character, him being emotional, him being vulnerable, talking about how he lost his career, how he lost two important people in his life, how he lost self-confidence. Like, I'm telling you, I'll be totally honest, and I'm not afraid to say it. I got in my feels. Like, I felt some little tearage coming out of my eyeball. Bray being emotional and being that vulnerable in front of the crowd, and the crowd being so receptive and just welcoming him with open arms. Like, it was such a beautiful segment. It was so amazing. Like, we've never seen this side of Bray Wyatt before, and you can't help but to appreciate it. But what was freaking dope, at first I was like, what the frick, is there something wrong with my television? When it cuts off, the light goes off, because he was in the middle of talking to the crowd, and then the lights go off, and then this weird video of him in that demon mask, and it's a whole bunch of just staticky stuff going on, just cutting everything off, and then it goes back to the upside down Firefly, and I'm just and then SmackDown's over. I'm hold on, that's all we're gonna get. It's just I love it. And honestly, I feel like this promo that he cut was just a piece of the puzzle. This dude has layers. Bray Wyatt has layers. I feel like when it got cut off, it was just a glimpse of that vulnerability that he wanted to reveal to his fans. But the evil part of him, this is me just trying to analyze and make sense of it, but the evil part of him, the part of him that is just bad and relentless and dark, that was the part that cut off. The lights go off, everything goes off, and then you start seeing these weird videos again. I feel like that was his dark side, pulling back his vulnerability of what he was showing the fans. So I might just be going girl, you going too far, but that's what I got from it, and that's what makes sense to me. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you thought about SmackDown. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more episodes. Thank you guys so much for watching. So signing off. Bye.